Hello there. I thought I would show you today how to make paint palettes out of clay. My students are really enjoying these. They're kind of fun. You can set them up however you like, and you can be very creative with how they're all laid out. And they're super easy. You don't have to labor at hand carving all of these things. I'll show you a really easy, simple way on how to make them. Um, the They're wonderful for paint because you can wash them really easily and clean them, and they don't stain and wear quite the same way as plastic. It's much nicer. And I have you can add things in like little places to hold your brush. So set these aside. You can kind of see they've got a bunch here in the background that we're working on. So the thing to start with is a nice slab of clay that's fairly thick. This is about 1 centimeter. You don't want to go too thin because when you press those the divots down, that's going to take about half of that thickness. So you want to make sure you've got a good chunky slab. I'd say this is probably on the thinner side. I would go at least 1 centimeter of thickness. And so what I've done here is I've smoothed off the back of this slab with my handy dandy credit card / gift card. This is a DoubleTree room key. Shh, don't. We do often steal room keys. They make great pottery tools. Don't sue me. All right. Room keys. I've got one from Vegas. I've got one from Colombia. They're great tools. Anyway, we're going to smooth this. So what you want to do is just take your fancy credit card. It's the best eraser smoothing tool around. Honestly, much better. The trick with smoothing with these, hold the tool in the center, not on the edges. So if you put pressure on the edges, you're going to make marks. If you put pressure in the center, it's going to lift the edges up and you'll get a nice, smooth, flat surface. So that's the first thing. Get a nice preps your slab. The other thing you can do is you can kind of see here, I've had some scrap wood and these make wonderful presses for all the little divots and stuff you're going to make. So you can kind of have fun with them. These are just like little scrap pieces. I could use the end of this. I could use the side of this. I could use the side. I have different diameters. They can kind of compose here. You can kind of see. So I could have some flat things. Great tool. It's a bouncy ball. Those little Zoom balls. This one's a little bit bigger than the Zoom balls that used to get with the bubblegum machines. But you can kind of play with different lengths of blocks and it's going to give you different looks. There's a little pressure and even a length of dowel. That's how I get the little groove on the side. So I have used also beach rocks, which I don't have today. But beach rocks, a nice oval, flat, rounded beach rock, I pressed that into the clay. So these are actually done with beach rocks. And it gives you a good excuse to go to the beach and hang out and find that perfect smooth rock that you're looking for and actually do something with it other than just stick it in your pockets and, wait for the next load of rocks when you go to the beach. Anyway, they're wonderful. And these were just a nice oval beach rock that were pressed into the clay. So I'll show you a little trick. So what I like to use is dry cleaning plastic. And I just take the dry cleaning plastic. I can also do this with cornstarch and dust the surface with cornstarch. And I will do a little bit of that. But for right now, I'll show you why I do the plastic in a second. So what I want is no wrinkles. So I'm taking my little chunk of clay and I'm smoothing the plastic on there and as best as I can so I don't have any wrinkles. Now I don't have to worry at all about anything sticking at all. Now let me see, how do I want to organize this? Let's do a little palette. I like to have a little section for mixing. And then as far as the amount of divots you need, it really depends on what you're doing. But, you know, primary colors, there's 3, red, yellow, blue. Then there's secondary colors. There's another 3 of those. That's 6. And then black and white. That's 7, 8 little divots, you know. But does it necessarily need to have each divot for each color? You could have this laid out much, you know, whatever works for you. So I'm going to start with, let's see, I might turn it this way. Might be kind of a fun thing. I'm going to start with a little divot for my paintbrush. So I kind of see that. There we go. So what I'm going to do is just take this little bit of dowel here, and I'm going to go in from the edge a little bit because I'm going to trim this off later. And I'm just going to press and give it a little jiggle. And depending on how wide you want your little brush well to be, you just jiggle it more. And you see how the plastic kind of pulls things down? It makes a nice smooth transition edge. I really like that. And let's see, maybe I would want the paint wells up here and the mixing down here. So I'm just going to leave a space. And this is where it gets fun. Ooh. You can totally whack this with your hand, but this is way more fun. I've got a mallet. So hold your ears. Whack-a-doodle. This is a whack-a-palette. So you can kind of see how it makes a nice little well. It depends on how deep a well you want to do. Just put it right back. Just tap in the corners. It does kind of slide a little bit. Don't, just be careful. It's not like heavy whacking, but if I'd have to like really work at this to my hand, if I'm doing a lot of them, it would really be uncomfortable. So this is much easier. And then the nice thing is I can leave that one in there, space the other one, maybe have another mixing thing. I don't know. Maybe have like, this is for light colors, dark colors. Don't mix them. Ta-da. Okay, black palette. Now, my little ball. Now I could make square divots, little wells. Well, maybe let's just kind of, let's try this. Let's do some square, rectangular wells here. I'm just going to use the end of this. And, boop, 1. How many colors do we need? Little space between. 2. Now, right now, I'm just suggesting it. I can go a little bit deeper the second time around. I'm just kind of impressing it a little bit so that I can space this out. So now I'm going to just dig them down a little bit deeper. There doesn't have to be a huge well. It's just got to be deep enough to keep them from jumping the fence. The paint jumping the fence. There we go. And we can emphasize that a little bit later afterward. And then I'm going to take my ball and we'll make some round wells on this one. So I'm just going to push it in and give it a twist. So maybe 2 big round wells. That'll be from, I don't know, black and white or something. What do I want in the corner here? I'll make a smaller palette. So what I'll do, maybe I'll put a little stamp in the corner here. There we go. And that's it. Now I'm going to take this off. La, la, la. And so I could go a little bit deeper than that if I wanted to, and whack at it some more with the hammer. So much fun. I like to just kind of refine it a little bit. After that, I do really like how the plastic makes the separations kind of pillowy, but I just want a little more definition in there. So I'm just going to dust my palette with cornstarch. So this is just the organic, so it'll burn off at the kiln, so you don't have to worry about the cornstarch doing anything difficult, problematic for the kiln or anything. So I'm just going to press it in now with to get a nice crisp edge in here. but I really wanted to keep that nice, soft, pillowy thing that the plastic does. So I'm kind of doing both, but you can do one or the other. I just find that the plastic is just a nice touch. And then I can do this, and the cornstarch just keeps the things from sticking, especially with the plastic items like the ball. Beach rocks are great because beach rocks are porous, so as long as you get a nice smooth one, they tend to be good to not stick as well. So I'm just going to give this a little tap. So this is already pressed in, but I just want a nice little edge here, a little more. This one in here. Ta-da! So it's almost finished. Now I just have to decide where I'm going to cut this. So I have a ruler, so I could use a ruler, say for this edge. Well, let me bring this in a little bit, kind of squished a bit. There we go. So for this edge, I'm going to use the ruler to straighten that side. And I'm just cutting this with my pin tool. And this is scrap. And let's see. I'm going to cut across that little groove for the paintbrush. The paintbrush kind of sticks out. And maybe just kind of emphasize that and make a little arc, a little wave. There we go. And then maybe down here. Well, actually, down here I could put another row of paint mixing things if I wanted to. I'm just going to curve around here. Let's see. There we go. And maybe if I want a little hole to hang it up or a hole for your thumb, which I never use, but we could do that. Let's see, what kind of hole do I want here? It's too big. Let's do a hanging up hole with except I'm missing a hole puncher there. If you want a nice rounded hole, I'm going to bring the plastic back, smooth it on, and then position where I want the hole, and push in, and cut through the plastic, and then what that does is it kind of makes a nice rounded hole so that, there's less finishing later. There we go. Let's see, how many others? Primaries. We need one more hole. Let's make another row. So they're really kind of fun to play with. And let's make another row color. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the wells. I'd rather just a nice big open area where I can mix my paint, but everybody's different of how they like their palette, so that's why this is really nice because you can customize it to what you like. If this was for me, I would just have a big open area for mixing and maybe a couple of wells for things like white and black that don't want mixed in all the time. So there we go. Boop. 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 I must use the other side for this. It's a little bit different dimensions. There we go. Now, after you've composed your palette, I'm just going to curve this. I think that looks better. It's a bit more curve. You're done. You just take a little damp sponge. Now, water is not your friend for hand building, so don't drench it. I see so many students that I don't know what they're trying to accomplish when they're just soaking it down. So a lot of water, if you use a lot of water, it just inspires cracking. It breaks down the clay and makes it turn into mush. So what I usually do is just take a damp sponge and go around where the edge is, and then just take your finger and smooth that. You need a little friction. If it's too wet, there's no friction and you can't actually smooth anything. You're not really doing anything. But I can just soften that edge up and make that nice and round and more pleasant. Now the back side, now, because I cut it off, is also going to be a bit sharp. So if you want to do a little finishy before, I just take a piece of paper and cover it over, and then we can flip it. I'm not going to handle these and pick them up until they're completely finished and dry, because otherwise your pallette's not going to be very flat. So at this stage, I can do the back and just do the same thing. So I just run the sponge along the edge just to kind of smooth things out. And then just a damp finger around the top. And that's all. Ta-da. And you can smooth a little back. You know, there's going to be a little bit of divots here. Depending on how thick your clay is, you're going to have a little marks, ridges from where you put the palette in, but that's not a big deal. So then I'm going to do another piece, smooth it on the back, and flip it again. Ta-da! Finished. There's so much fun. That's kind of fun. So have fun. So now I've got a little place for my brush later. I can put a little colors up here, mix a little bit down here, have a little thing to hang it up. Sometimes I'll put little feet on the bottom later. I like little cork feet because then people have the options to pick them off afterward. Because you can actually put these through the dishwasher to clean. You know, these don't go through the dishwasher, these little cork feet, quite as much. But it's nice to have something that if you get it on a table, it's going to not slide around too much. And I usually sand the back so it's smooth, so that way it doesn't scratch the table and it feels a little more pleasant to kind of hold on to. So I hope you have a little bit of fun making these. You have to experiment and find the right things to get the shapes that you want. If you've got kids blocks, you know, you might be able to find some little wooden blocks, different shapes and sizes. You don't necessarily have to cut your own. And like I said, these were just scraps that we had hanging around the garage that I cut in different shapes and dimensions. And beach rocks work great. Anything that you can find to press in to make a mark is all you need. And then it's just, you know, fun to kind of compose these. So happy paletting. Thank you. Bye.